Hello crafters, I'm back with a flip through of all my doodles that I've done. I've done 50 doodles. I haven't been out anywhere shopping obviously, so I'm using this book that I'd already got, and I haven't done decorated the front, but I will eventually come around to doing the front. So I thought I would just go through a quick flip through and talk about them if there's anything to say about them, and I'd like you at the end, if you wouldn't mind telling me which was your favourite, or Lorna, if you really can't narrow it down, top 3 maybe, something like that. So this was the first one. Now when I'd finished it on YouTube it was very plain and I hadn't decorated it, and Marina suggested decorating it with a white pen, and I thought at the time I was just going to do a really simple one to get people started and then sort of build up to more complex things. But in the end I did decorate it. I think I put it on my Instagram, but it actually turned out to be one of my favourite. That one, I really like that one. I'm going to say that about most of them, that I'm either going to love them or hate them, I think. And this one again I really like because I like the colours, the green and the purple. So over to 3 and 4. This one didn't turn out quite how I wanted. It went a bit dark, I think, with the ink around the outside. Not a favourite, nor this one, but that's mainly because that's not really my style. I was just trying something a little bit different. I like the colours, and I think doing the background helped, but again, it's not really me. This one I quite liked. This is one of my favourites, the leaves, number 6. I love doing that. I don't know, just liked the leaves against the sky. I thought that was very nice. And if you see my altered cards, I've used that, the cards that I sent to Michelle, I used that to do a theme, spring, summer, autumn and winter theme. So yes, this one I quite like because I quite liked the rainbow effect on the, I don't know what you call them, leaves maybe. And this one I like. I've done a few of these over the years, different colours and things. I don't know where I got the idea for that one. I think I must have seen something on Pinterest. But since I've seen it, I often, if I've got a spare few minutes, do one of those. Because you can use different colours, obviously. Number 9 and number 10, love these. I love this one. It turned out, I think the colours were great on this. They just sort of, I like the red, it's quite vibrant and sort of abstract. And this one I like doing because it's quite, I don't know, I like the monochrome, and also I quite like the shading where it sort of brings it to life a bit. So yes, this one, number 11, was quite colourful. It's quite fun to do. Not really me, I'm not really sort of, I would say I'm not good at drawing and drawing faces and things, but it was fun to do. And using all the different colours as well, and the different expressions. Yeah, I quite like that one. I like how it turned out anyway. This one, I like this. I did something similar to this for, I think, it might have been Mother's Day. I can't remember. Oh, I did, what do you call it? Alcohol ink. I made alcohol ink roses, but then also did sort of a black starry background on it. I like that one. 13, peas in a pod. That's quite something I've drawn a long time with sort of like Zentangling. Don't usually colour it green, but it definitely looked like peas in a pod, so it had to be green. This one I think was inspired by blossom on a walk. When I went for one of my walks, there was a lot of blossom out at the time. I like both of those, they're not too bad. This one, now I've got some blinds, I went and found them, but they're not green, they're red, but very similar to this. This pattern with sort of overlaying leaf shapes and things. This one, this just comes straight from my brain, just sort of thing that I do, left unattended, and yeah, not too bad. I quite like red, black and white as a 3 colour combo. 17, obviously trying to get me a nice rainbow, probably thinking about the NHS and what was going on and trying to get some rainbow colours in, but also like the black and white and the way you can sort of make them pop off the page with a bit of shading. Number 18, my fish. Quite like doing that. I often do a fish because it's like a really simple outline to do. Anybody can draw a blobby fish and then you can just fill it how you want to fill it. 19, that was the one I did for my sister's birthday. Just tons and tons of flowers because obviously I couldn't see her on her birthday and I couldn't really give her flowers, so that was for her. And I finished it. I don't know if you can see. If I do that, it makes any difference. But it's got nail varnish, nail polish. I've got 2 colours of nail polish. Not that I ever use it, you can tell. But I've got a red metallic and a gold. And I often use that. I used to use them on colouring books when I was finishing a picture on a colouring book. Just jot a bit on. But I thought it might make those flower centres pop a little. This one I love. I like anything that's sort of either black and white or kind of blended bright colours. So that was obviously done with the Distress Oxides, which I love. And then you can colour on top of it. So that's the sort of thing I kind of, that's kind of more me. That and the black and white ones. This is more me, this one, number 22, the sort of Zentangling things. Some colourful tropical fish. And we had fish when we were growing up. And I've got a friend who's got fish. And yeah, they're very nice to sit and watch, quite relaxing. So 21 and 22. 23, that was just me playing with, like you do. Like you're a kid, just drawing things and then colouring in the bits. I quite like how that turned out. And that's got some, could be nail varnish on top. Yeah, I think it is. Dots of nail varnish. That's quite colourful, but I don't know, it didn't really turn out quite how I envisaged it. I think I could have done that one a bit better. 25 and 26. 25, I'm not sure. I thought I liked the colours, but the more I look at it, I'm not so sure. It's got a bit of a 70s vibe. I think. Is that good or bad? I don't know. Depends whether or not you were born in the 70s. I like this one as well. That very simple, just black and white. I quite like that. This one, number 27, was inspired by, I've got it here, a napkin that I'd got on my desk. And so I just use that as some inspiration. This one, easy peasy, anybody can do triangles with a ruler. And it's just nice and colourful, rainbow. Again, probably getting round to thinking about Thursday night clapping and people working, key workers and things. 29, gems. I used to do quite a few gems a few years back. Couldn't really remember whether I was colouring them right, but they seem to go okay. Who doesn't like a gem? This one, I don't know where the inspiration for that came from. That just sort of turned. Again, it's easy looking at it now. I can be quite critical of all of them, saying, I could have done this one so much better, and I could. It's quite hard to draw at a distance. My eyesight is not brilliant, and I tend to draw given a chance with my nose on the page, but obviously that isn't great watching for everybody else, just seeing the back of my head. So I've been drawing at a distance, but it does make it kind of hard to see where lines begin and end. So yeah, not bad, but could be better. This one, again, I try to do things, a mix of simple things and perhaps more complicated things, but things that people can follow along, even if you don't, if you say you can't draw or do anything, a few dots on a page, joining the dots with a ruler to make triangles. I think most people could do that. This one I love. I've seen something like, I must have seen something on Pinterest or something years ago, because I made one of these and it's hanging on the back of my door here. But I've been doing them, you know, as cards and things for people for a few years. I quite like that, and I like the fact that it's a bit of colour and black and white and a bit of the shading, and yeah, turned out okay, that one. The cats, yeah, quirky cats. Who doesn't love a quirky cat? I've seen there's loads of things on Pinterest with different cats and things, but I just decided to go with the flow and do my own cat expressions and see where it went. That's my sister's, well, she's got 3 cats now, but that's Simba and Mo. And I guess one of these could be Scarlet. That looks a bit dim. I don't think that's her at all. But yeah, the cats. This one I like. This is very simple, but it's really, I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but in real life there's a lot of pink and blue and grey, and that was done with an Elegant Writer pen that when you add water to it, obviously it all leaches out the colour. So I'll do a few of those. I've got some cards that I've made like that I keep in my planner. So there, this one. Right, now I'd seen something like this, I think on Pinterest, which had got a cat's face, and I thought, oh, I'll do a rabbit. I think in hindsight, I would say that my colours were a little dark. I think if I'd done some lighter colours, and it's very hard to find light colours. I could have done pencil, but pencil is actually quite hard going colouring, and it makes my hand hurt after a while. And if you're doing lots of things, you know, if I'm doing a one-off, then maybe I'd use pencil, but the alcohol markers are quick to lay down colour. So, yeah, I think it could have been slightly better if it was slightly paler colours, but yeah, not too bad. Looks a bit patchworky, which is where I was headed. 36, the eels, yes, inspired by that news story about the Japanese eels that were lonely because they were used to having lots of people's faces peering at them every day and talking to them. And I think they'd set up webcams and asked people if they would talk face to face with the eels so that they didn't feel quite so lonely. And that kind of touched me, so I drew a few eels, although they look like worms. They could be worms, eels, whatever you like. Buttons. Yep, who doesn't love a button? And, you know, pastel coloured buttons. And they're quite pretty. 38, the bird. That's just sort of like classic Zentangle patterns in a birdie. This one, I reckon this one could have been done better. The idea was sound. Put a few bits of watercolour down and then draw over the top, some panels and then draw over the top. I don't know whether or not you can see, but these paints here are, they were by Floating Marshmallows, but I don't think she's making paints anymore on Etsy, but they are shiny, what do you call them, like mica, metallic type paints, and they're quite pretty, but again, I think if I had it under my nose, I perhaps would have done it a little bit neater, but it is what it is. Number 40, yeah, I love this, and I love this kind of thing where it looks like things are going in and out of the paper and things like that. Oh no, I'll tell you, and once I've said it, you won't be able to unsee it. It just looks like a fried egg. Once I was trying to go for amber, but yeah, now I just see a fried egg every time I look at it, or an egg yolk, put it that way. This one, nice and simple. Anybody can have a little squiggle on a paper, and then I just added a few bits, and you know, I used to do some of these for birthday cards for people, and then I don't know, I just thought, oh, I'll do some lavender, and then, you know, sometimes as you're going along, things just hit you, and you think, oh, I know, I'll draw that. So, but I quite like the colourfulness of that one. The dress, I thought that was quite pretty. I don't really wear flowery dresses, or I certainly wouldn't wear pink or possibly lilac. She says wearing no, it's not lilac, it's blue. But yeah, I thought that was quite pretty. Street scene. I was heading for I was going to draw a fairy house, and then I don't know, changed my mind obviously and went down the road. And if that's your house, Kay, I'll look out for it next time I'm down your way. Yep. 44 is kind of a mishmash of two things that I'd seen, the sort of flowery type thing on Pinterest, I think, and these that's like a classic Zentangle pattern thing. I don't know, I can't remember the names of them, but it has got a name. And then something a bit organic at the side. Patchwork quilt. Yep. My eyes went a bit screwy doing all those stitches, and again I think if my head had been closer, and I did actually, I think I ended up cutting that bit out of the video anyway because, you know, it's quite lengthy, but my eyes were a bit crossed at the end doing all those stitches, but I could have done them better, I think, had I had it a bit closer. 46, the beach hut. Quite like that, sort of reminds me of holidays and the beach and the sun. Obviously where I live, I couldn't live any further from the beach, I don't think, but yes, it would be nice to see the sea. 47 is a heart on just a normal Zentangling type background, and the heart's sort of got lace things sewing it to the page. And 48, again I started with a rainbow coloured inked background, and then just drew some flowers, and use Sharpies on the top, I think, and the Sharpies are not too bad. They come, you know, you get a bit of a strange colour, but all I wanted was to sort of mark the fact that these were obviously a different colour to the background. It doesn't really matter what colour. Yeah, I wish I hadn't put the bees on. I think I ruined it with the bees, but other than that, yeah, not too shabby. Love this one. I don't know, I think the colours and everything really pop. I was inspired by a colouring book that I've got, not to hand, but it's got similar patterns to this, like that in it, and yeah, I thought if I could draw the leaves on top and then put something bright underneath, and I think the colour combination really worked on that one. But last, and then this one, that was inspired by, and I don't know the lady's name, but she's got a doodling series on YouTube, Clarity Stamps I think it is, something like that. And I thought, oh, I could use her lettering to say thank you, and thank you to everybody who has stuck with me. Those of you who stuck from beginning to end, I very much appreciate it. And I've had a blast. I've enjoyed doing the doodles. I've enjoyed people following along. Marina's done some brilliant ones, better than mine, Marina's. And she's copied some ideas from here, and yeah, that's the whole point. To have a go. If you want to have a go, just have a look. My sister just watched in the morning before she went to work, so yeah, that was what it's for. But at the time I was very anxious. I was very worried about, you know, the future and what was going to happen. I was missing my mum and dad and my sister, and you know, I needed something to keep myself, you know, focused and to keep going. Now I'm obviously less anxious, and I think I need a break. I need to get some more ideas. I might come back and revisit this and do some more perhaps in the summer. I've got some big birthdays I need to create for, and I need to clear my desk of all things to do with drawing, which you'd think wouldn't be much, but it really is. And yeah, it's time to move on for a bit. but maybe not forever. And thank you also to all my new subscribers, because when I started, I think I'd got, I don't know, 100 and something, not many subscribers, and I've got over 200 now. So that is fantastic. Thank you very much, everybody who has stuck with me, and for new people who have joined along the way. And I hope I will be doing more videos, different things in the future. But for now, that's the end of the doodling for now. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now. Oops, I forgot to say, please would you put your favourite in the comments below. If you have a favourite or top 3 or whatever, I'd be really interested to know which were your favourites. Thanks, and I really am going this time. Bye bye.